Hello there and welcome back to some more Forza Horizon 5. Today we are taking a look at the newest car pass edition, the Lamborghini Huracan EVO. I'm going to be taking a look at its statistics, giving you a brief overview of its history and also checking to see if it has any unique modifications. Car pass cars can be redeemed by going to the buy and sell tab in your garage, clicking on the car pass tab, and then you'll be able to redeem any cars you have outstanding. The 2020 Lamborghini Huracan EVO is in the modern supercars class and has 630 horsepower, 442 foot-pound torque, 3,422 pounds of weight, is S1 class, 851 PI, and is mid-engined all-wheel drive. The Lamborghini Huracan has been out for, well, 7 years at the time of recording, but when this car came out, it had been out for 5. So this is the mid-cycle facelift. It's being called the EVO, and as you can see, it has numerous styling changes from the standard Huracan. For one, you have this more aggressive front end, more aerodynamic front bumper, some changes to the side streaks, some of the side profiles been changed around as well, but the most interesting and noticeable changes are at the back here. For one, you can see it now has a duck spoiler. It also has a rerouted exhaust system, which means it now comes out more centrally on the car as opposed to being underneath, so this diffuser can be a little bit more elaborate. Again, the rear end style, a lot more aggressive, more aerodynamically focused, I guess. So the Huracan EVO, it's not just changes to the cosmetics, there's numerous other changes. The engine is perhaps the most notable, now up to 630 horsepower, because this uses essentially the same engine that you would find in the Lamborghini Huracan Performante, which was one of the more extreme versions of the Huracan. Not quite the most extreme anymore. The most extreme Huracan now is the STO, which kind of surprising we didn't get that one, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, so this uses the Performante's 630 horsepower engine, so that's been upgraded. Also, in the interior, numerous changes. For one, the touchscreen now has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which is obviously what you want in your Lamborghini. There's been numerous changes to the computer tech in this car. It now can predict what drive mode you'll want based on how you're driving the car, which is interesting. And there's also numerous other changes. It now has rear wheel steering as well in order to make the car a little bit more responsive. Just a bunch of changes to make the Huracan more modern and make it appeal more to supercar buyers who might be more interested in some of the more modern rivals this car. But at the end of the day, it is still a 7-year-old Huracan. Having the facelifted Huracan EVO here is a bit interesting, because essentially what this boils down to in-game is a heavier version of the Performante. As I mentioned, it has the same engine as the Performante, same power, same torque figures, everything like that. The Performante is about 150 pounds lighter and will be a lot better through the corners. So it does make you question why they would add the Huracan EVO over, say, the Huracan STO, which again is a lot more track focused, more powerful, and would probably be a better fit for the game as well. Or why bother adding a Huracan at all? Of course, as we know, the Aventador SVJ is in the festival playlist, but it is quite a high reward, and I'm definitely not going to get it. So I don't get why the Huracan EVO maybe wasn't in the festival playlist, and then the Aventador SVJ in the car pass, which would make the car pass more appealing to people. I don't know. I don't hate this car, don't get me wrong. I'm not a huge fan of the standard Huracan, and I can't say I'm particularly a fan of the styling changes to this car, but it does come in green and it does come in this lovely purple. And it is a Lamborghini. I'm probably more a fan of this than I would be of, say, the F8 Tributo coming into the game, which is essentially just a modified 488, but I know this is getting a bit more personal opinion than history and facts, but I'm just not sure why you'd go for the Huracan EVO, unless you want to add like all the Huracan range, maybe bring the Huracan more up to date. But yeah, it's a little bit of a weird one for me, I will be honest. Anyways, on to its upgrades, and you won't be surprised to learn this doesn't really have any unique upgrades. In terms of engine swaps, you have the standard affair of the 6.5 litre V12 from a Lamborghini Aventador, and the Racing V12, which is courtesy of the Ferrari F50 GT, which sees a substantial loss of torque. And in terms of its aero and aero, you can only add the Horizon bumper and the Horizon rear wing, which also gets rid of the ducktail, which is one of the big features of the Huracan EVO. So yeah, a little bit of a weird one. Kind of surprised they didn't add any crazy body kits. I think the Huracan has a wide body. I don't know why that wasn't brought over, or if the Huracan doesn't have a body kit, which again, I'm not 100% sure why you can't do it, or why you can't add some of the SVJ, sorry, not SVJ, the SVO body panels to this vehicle. It is a little bit strange, yeah. I guess disappointing would be the way to describe this one. I'm sure there's someone out there who really likes the Huracan EVO being in the game. I don't think too many people complain when you get a supercar in the game, because of course, while, you know, I might like more interesting and quirky vehicles and you might too, at the end of the day, you know, the supercars and stuff is what people who predominantly play these games really want to see, or at least I'd imagine so. So, I guess you can't complain too much, but it is just a weird inclusion. Again, for all the quirky car people, obviously they're not going to be interested in this, but for all STO, sorry, not SVO. Was I saying I don't know. It's Lamborghini naming is confusing. But anyways, I don't understand, you know, for the quirky car people, they're not going to be interested in this, and for the supercar fans, they're going to want the STOs. I don't know why they didn't add the EVO rear-wheel drive to give it a little bit more of a change, although then again you can swap it to rear-wheel drive, but even still, just to make this car have a little bit more purpose in the game. I don't really understand it, but there you go. That is the Lamborghini Huracan EVO. Do hope you've enjoyed. Join us next week for the next Car Bass car. So until then, farewell.